Before watching, please be informed this video may contain sensitive content and information. On that note, this video is meant purely for informative and educational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, as you saw from the title, I'll be verbally explaining how one of the most dangerous individuals known to the Powering Imagination platform is still doing in early 2023. I'll be explaining piece by piece from the birth of Fave's channel to the day his cancellation finally came through, and how that is still currently affecting his reputation in 2023, so stay tuned. So if you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you will never miss out on a brand new video I post to the channel. So with that said, let's get back into the topic of today's video. Before we can go into full context as to understanding the situation, we need to know some of Fave's background. So, who exactly is Fave? Fave was a Roblox YouTuber who was dedicated to making content that was considered entertaining and sometimes useful and informative. For instance, he would make videos explaining the history of certain Roblox games, users, updates to the platform, and so forth. He even made videos with other YouTubers like Kitten and would join some of Kitten's videos going over issues on Roblox. Most undoubtedly, during Fave's time as a Roblox influencer, he became widely known for videos such as 10 things you can do with 1 Robux, 10 ways to get banned on Roblox and its sequel, and so many more. On August 28, 2010, this would be the time he would create his YouTube channel. Alongside creating his channel, he would then begin to upload typical Roblox gameplay videos involving him and his friends. Unlike most Roblox YouTubers during his time, he was noticed differently and was spotted for his unique style of creating Roblox videos. Most Roblox YouTubers at the time would create tutorials, funny comedy videos, and so much more of the typical niche, and still do, but his content focused more entirely on the older, more nostalgic and historical context of Roblox. Originally, however, although he played Roblox with his Fave TWO YEARS account as shown throughout his channel, that wasn't always the case. When he first began playing Roblox, he originally played on an account called Fave simply with 1A, as it is clearly indicated in his channel name. Not much needs to be said about it other than the fact that the account got quickly terminated for the mispronunciation of a Roblox item called Mr. Tentacles. But whether you consider that right or wrong, that doesn't change the fact that the allegations that were slowly floating into the community about Fave weren't true. Like other types of controversy that occur on the internet, what began as simple little accusations would soon take turn on Fave. Throughout the years, people made brief accusations that Fave was talking to / making sexual remarks on innocent young girls via Discord and Snapchat, but no one seemed to care enough or believe it, since, after all, this is the internet we're talking about, and to this, Fave would claim these rumors were not true and place them aside, that being until recent times. Although the evidence was clear that Fave has had this issue since he was a preteen, if not younger, what has been confirmed is that this has been occurring since 2016. So far, in chronological order of when each incident has occurred, there was an incident that occurred back in 2018. The victim was 13 years old and Fave was 17 years old. The conversations were on Discord and on Snapchat, and the victim has even gone as far as to deleting an account on Discord despite being threatened by the man himself, Fave, stating he'll show her friends the photos of her nude if she didn't comply with his demands. He even went as far as to saying you look, in quotation marks, small, end quotation marks, in what can only be described as explicit photos. Worst of all, he states he has a special folder for these types of photos, most likely indicating he has a bunch of files containing child pornography. In 2020, on the other hand, there was another incident that occurred, the victim being 14 years of age and Fave being approximately 19 to 20 years old. In the official Fave Discord server, through a mutual friendship on Discord, Fave discovered the victim and acknowledged the fact she was underage, and still decided to bring romantic intentions towards her. Later on throughout the conversation the victim and Fave were having on Discord, both the victim and Fave got into a voice call together, and while in the voice call, Fave made things go sideways and informed the victim of his sexual desires. With her, Fave performed an 85 question list on her and would answer his own questions with sexual answers involving her. Some of the questions on the list were reportedly personal despite being in sexual themes. An example of this can be seen with one of the questions on the list that states, "What's the last movie you watched?" Fave responded by stating he wanted to screw the British girl from the film and compared it to the conversations him and the victim were having. The last thing that can be noted, however, is that the victim was soon banned from the official Fave Discord server since the mods of the server didn't want this type of information to be leaked out about Fave. Although this incident took place around 2015 to 2016, Fave was approximately 15 to 17 years old and the victim being approximately 11 to 12 years old. Not much occurred in this situation other than the fact that Fave was sending a lot of flirty messages towards the victim and Fave being completely fine with those comments. To top it off, the victim explained this mainly occurred on Twitter since at the time, Discord wasn't really a thing yet. She also said she had Fave on Skype as well, but they never really talked on it. Although more incidents and allegations were documented, I'll include one last incident due to timing of the video. For this incident, around 2019, although the victim was of age being 18 years old, this incident was probably more toxic and problematic than any other one I could find on this list. First off, despite the victim being a clothing designer, Fave immediately starts expressing negative intentions and states he has a bad history with clothing designers and that, quote unquote, you might hear some things from them that might be true, end of quote. And in response to explaining how his relationships with other clothing designers ended, he explained, quote unquote, they didn't end well, end of quote, which already dictates some red flags. Not only did comments like those show red flags, but this also meant deep down Fave was trying to emotionally manipulate the victim as well. Additionally, however, the victim presumably became friends with Fave only because he was using threats of suicidal ideation. He would also use such threats if she either didn't comply with him or if she said she didn't want to be friends with him. The victim has previously stated in the past, with screenshots providing the evidence, of Fave making uncomfortable comments towards the victim. For instance, Fave went as far as to telling one of the victim's friends he knew the victim's address and claiming he knew almost everything about the victim, including her phone number, her social media platforms, and so forth. As pointed out, the conversations were going from platform to platform. Examples of ones they engage conversations in are Twitter, Discord, and especially Snapchat. After going through each instance of when Fave caused an incident, there's a few things we can recap on. First off, as stated before, this all began in approximately 2016. Knowing how issues like these start, we can immediately infer this most likely begun way before 2016. Another thing to keep in mind is that people with these types of issues that have a high status like internet fame, movie or TV show fame tend to abuse their status to manipulate, mislead, or be dominant around vulnerable victims. An example of this has been seen with Drake and Josh star Drake Bell, which is another situation for a whole nother topic. Otherwise, aside from that, and returning to the topic of Fave, after each incident by incident, it wouldn't be until January of 2021 that a 90-page document containing practically every word, message, and action Fave committed against each victim. After the document was released to the public, the allegations became so intense that Fave attempted to debunk them via his Twitter account and stating the messages on his alleged Snapchat account, quote unquote, aren't true, end of quote, and that the account itself, quote unquote, belonged to someone else, end of quote, with the information he provided obviously being completely false. Although the heat from the allegations would continue on for months on end, it wouldn't be until September of 2021 that Fave would officially stop uploading to his YouTube channel and would discontinue his social media platforms. As this information came along, more and more of the victims would start coming out, which in return meant for Fave that he would be losing more and more views and subscribers, ultimately marking the end of Fave's career as an online influencer. As of now, here's what I can confirm about Fave. To point out the obvious, he still plays Roblox on alternative accounts. This was proven to be true when people of the Roblox community leaked out some of his accounts, like Fave with 3 A's. Both that account and his Fave with 2 A's account still exist and aren't terminated. His Discord server invitation leak is invalid when attempting to join, indicating the server was either removed or it no longer exists, or at the minimum the invitation leak was changed. If we're speaking of his main social media accounts, he's still currently inactive and hasn't been charged for his crimes. According to Google, although it ranges from state to state, typically people who are caught doing the same actions as Fave receive anywhere from 4 years to life in prison. As for fines, they range anywhere from in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And just for the charges of child pornography alone, Fave would be receiving anywhere from 15 to 30 years in prison. Which, knowing all of this, it is highly unlikely Fave will be charged for his crimes unless a direct lawsuit is placed against him. So, what do you guys think? Were you surprised when all of this information came into the media? Let me know in the comment section down below. But before heading out, be sure to check out the videos I've shown on the screen because I create content similar to this video, including tutorials and Roblox commentary here on the channel, so you don't want to miss out on them.